Welcome to Opinion Havers, a movie podcast for, I'm disappointed in it. For the greatest actor of all time, all right? Let's say it together. Dominic Cooper, who starred in two of the best movies ever, okay? Dominic Cooper, if you're out there, R.I.P., man. You know what I mean?
Dominic Cooper's my favorite kind of actor because he's the one where you see and you're like, oh, who is this guy? I've seen this guy. I've seen him. He was good in something, right? And every time I see him, I look him up. I'm like, oh, yeah. He was Tony Stark's dad.
Here's the thing about Dominic, all right, if I may.
Every time I see him.
If I may enlighten you, Dominic is somebody that you can be like, okay, here's the character pitch. It's ridiculous. Maybe it's a little bit racist. Maybe it'll be a little controversial. And he's like, don't care. I will commit 100% to this role. And he goes for it. You know what I mean? Like, he'll buy into it. And he's like, I'm like, he is the character. He's doing it. This man is pulling off some kind of crazy glasses with like the little stupid side shades. Okay. Name another actor that can pull those off. Nobody. All right. Cody, what movie, what cinematic thrill ride of adventure did we experience?
We watched Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah.
Cody, give me your hot takes, your initial thoughts, your burning desires. Tell me how much you love the movie.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm upset this movie didn't do better because I would love for this to be like every 18 months they drop one of these. You know, it's like George Washington, werewolf fighter. You know, I want like a Julius Caesar mermaid wrangler. You know, I want historical figure and like paranormal, monster, whatever. That's what I want, you know? Barack Obama, Bigfoot smuggler, you know? So I think it wasn't too bad, you know? It was, I will say, like, it fits in so perfectly with like the mid 2000s Resident Evil. You know, it's that kind of vibe, action, whatever. This is a perfect example of a Tyler movie, you know? It wasn't too bad, you know? It wasn't too bad.
I think if I remember correctly, what I said to you and when we spun the wheel and this came up was, I'm so excited for you to be mad about how not crap this movie is.
Yeah.
Because this movie also, this guy went on to then also write Pride of Prejudice and Zombies and several other novels in the same vein. It's part of that kind of genre of stuff. So it did lead to that. What I'm mad about is Pride of Prejudice and Zombies, from what I remember, maybe you remember it differently, did well. It didn't score higher. I just looked it up. It did not really score better as far as critics were concerned. But people were all about it, I thought. Right? They liked the zombies. Everybody loves a good zombie flick in the Regency period, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big time genre.
It had Lily
genre
James
does
in
numbers.
It. Everyone loves Lily James. You know, they
Lily
loved
James
her.
Is in
and
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies?
Yeah, she's the main character, dog.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. It was crazy. We were all there for it. But you know what? The people squandered what they had. The people hated Jesus for he spoke the truth. Okay, that's what we're dealing with right now.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm on the IMDb and I'm looking at the more like this, and this is just the list of movies we've done for Tyler's Trash. It's Priest.
They're so good.
It's Dracula Untold. It's Legion.
We haven't done Legion.
Right.
Have we done Clash of the Titans? But they are both.
No, we didn't. We did. I'm just saying, like, these are the exact.
I mean, those are Tyler Trash movies because I love those movies. I haven't seen Legion. I want to so bad, but I always talk myself down. I always talk myself down. Because Legion is a good movie by all accounts, which means it's going to be intense. And I don't know if I can handle it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's going to be too scary for a little time. Maybe it'll be too scary in my giblets, you know?
Tell you complained that like my scary movies weren't that scary. So, you know, I think
it's because your scary movies are like not that scary and people are like, they're so scary. And then I bring movies that people are like, it's just kind of like whatever, like Lights Out. And you still think about that movie from time to time, don't you?
Yeah.
It sticks with you. And I think that's what a horror movie should do. So that's what I'm going into every horror movie expecting. I'm expecting to be permanently scarred by every horror movie. This movie that we watched is technically a horror movie, but it's not going to keep you up at night, is it?
Or no.
Exactly, because it's a good movie.
What about you, Tyler? You know,
I mean,
where are you at?
I mean, here's the thing. This movie, I went through a period. All of these movies came because I went through a period where I was like, you know what? Screw the haters. I'm watching all these movies. And I found them all to be delightful thrill rides. Okay. You cannot watch this movie and look me in the eye and say it was not a fun time the whole time. Because that's what it is. That's all it pretends to be. I won't, without maybe spoil it, there's a point where like somebody has a weapon that randomly loses a very significant piece of it from shot to shot. And I'm like, where did it go? And Tiffany's like, oh, maybe it can, maybe it, you know, retracts and sticks back out. I was like, nah, I don't think they cared. I think that maybe somebody caught it and they're like, it's not that kind of movie. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's the kind of, it is the kind of movie that would get the, it's not that kind of a movie, you know?
Yeah.
It's such a fun movie. So, Cody, do we want to jump into the rants? Do we want to jump into the spoilers?
Yeah, we should.
Cody, hop on my stagecoach and let's Tokyo drift this mofo into Spoiler Town, USA, okay?
Okay.
Do you want to go first? Sure. Do you want me to go first?
I mean, I'm a little bit ready, you know?
Okay.
I'll do it. Okay. Hold on. My watch is on the other hand because I got an owie on my other wrist. It's a whole thing. All right, Tyler, first, let me tell you, not only is this a historical movie, it's a religious movie. It starts with a Bible verse, which is just my favorite way for a movie about Abraham Lincoln killing vampires. You know, it makes me think like, hold on, was Abraham Lincoln even real? Because I'm like, vampires aren't real. Who knows if the Bible's real? I mean, what about Abraham Lincoln? He's also fictional, right? This is like a triple fiction mythology movie. Love it. Just a great start. Fantastic. This movie has maybe the weirdest ADR I've ever seen. Because, like, it's early in the part. I think it's when he's, like, not a boy anymore, but he's a young man. And he's like, I gotta go kill the guy that was responsible for the death of my parents. And he's like, I gotta do it. And then he starts running away. And then from the back of his head, you just hear him say, for my mother. I was like, that's the weirdest ADR I've ever heard. Because it seems like it was probably part of the script, but they forgot to say it on the day. And then they ADR it. I don't know. It was a weird one. This guy directed remember when they tried to reboot Ben-Hur? They're like, we gotta remake that for sure. Because that's what's on everyone's mind. And then the poster was the guy that looks like Charlie Day. But it's not Charlie Day. But it's some guy. Anyway, this guy directed that, which is wild to me. I mean, for a movie that wasn't that good, this is quite the cast, you know? It's got Richard Sewell, it's got Dominic Cooper, it's got Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I was quite impressed with the cast. Like, these are quality B-list celebrities filling out this roster, you know? I was quite impressed. Richard Sewell, fun fact, is a regular at my sister's Trader Joe's in Los Angeles. So that's fun. And you know what's funny is she just texted our group chat like 2 days before I watched the movie. And she was like, Richard Sewell's at my Trader Joe's. And we all had the conversation, wait, who's that? The guy from A Knight's Tale. Oh, yeah, that one guy, you know, whatever. And here he was, hanging out, Lord of the Vampires in New Orleans, which is where... a very famous vampire city. I was there, and they have a little vampire store, and they sell vampire stuff like vampire playing cards, fake blood, whatever. I don't know. I went there. So, Dominic Cooper sunglasses, I love it. So unhinged. I mean, if there was one thing that tipped off he was a vampire, it was that he was wearing those sunglasses. Like, those are vampire sunglasses. You know what I'm saying? You wear those, you're probably, it's like an 80% chance you're a vampire, But I don't know how many different pairs he had. I feel like he had at least 2, maybe 3 different pairs. But I feel like every time he popped back up on screen, I was like, these sunglasses are even more unhinged than the last ones. This is fantastic. It was great. I loved it. I just wanted there to, you had the front ones. And then you had the ones on the front and the side. I just wanted it to keep going, until it was a full, cube of, sunglasses in front of his eyes. But they chickened out. They're cowards. That's why this movie didn't do as well as it could have, I got a big question, and I didn't get through the trivia of this movie. I think they shot a scene of this movie like The Aviator. In the movie The Aviator, back in 03 or 05, Martin Scorsese movie, Leonardo DiCaprio, it's about Howard Hughes. There's like a 5 or 10 minute section of the movie that's shot with an old school style of film that colors way different. And so things show up as a weird ultraviolet blue instead of green and stuff. There's a random scene in this movie that has that film style, and I've only seen it ever done in The Aviator in modern movies. Wait, did they shoot this on this specialized old type of film, or did they just color it in post, which I'm sure is what they did? But it was the weirdest. The only person I ever knew about that and made it a point to put it in a movie was Martin Scorsese, and now there's 2 people. The other guy is Timur Bekmambetov. So there's 2 visionary directors that have used that very specific style of film for a movie. So that's fun. If you're going to get married in a white tux, go all out. It either looks real classy or real trashy. And this is the kind of dice you have to roll on your wedding day, You don't want the bride stealing all the glory with the pretty white dress, You got to show up and be like, hey, look at me also. I'm also in all white, It's a power move. And it's an alpha male move, It seems like the kind of thing Rogan would talk about on his podcast, right? You got to power move your spouse. You got to assert dominance so that you are the alpha of the marriage. You know what I'm saying?
Cody, I'm going to have to cut you
Dominate
off while you're talking about
your
alpha
spouse
male. No,
from
Cody.
day one.
No, Cody. I'm the alpha now, okay? You just calm down, okay? I'm going to dive right back into it, okay? Cody, here we go. Let's talk about it. This movie, it had one of the best taglines of all time. All right, are you a patriot or a vampire? All right, those are the 2 options in this world. Are you patriot, vampire? Okay, it's so cool. Okay, it's so cool.
No,
everything about this movie Here's the thing, okay? Zack Snyder. Pay attention. This is how you do it, my guy. You lost it. You did it with 300 and then you lost it. And everybody's like, maybe he'll have it again. Newsflash, Hollywood. He's never going to have it again because he's trying to be like Christopher Nolan. That's what's happening. He's like, but Chris over here, he's doing stuff. You'll never be Chris Nolan. Not even Jonathan can be Chris Nolan. Okay? Jonathan Nolan, what's he out here doing? He's out here making what? The Fallout series, the most successful series of the year so far. He's a failure. All right. He's doing TV on Prime Video. All right. That's, just accept your fate, Zack Snyder, and make me more movies based on graphic novels with impressive blood splatter. This movie is cool at all stages. It is that sacrifices everything it can to make the cool choice. And I respect a movie that does that. Okay. He goes out. He's like, okay, first off, let's talk about Dominic Cooper's character. You cannot more obviously be a vampire. Tiffany also was like, I could tell when he put on the glasses. I was like, oh, you couldn't tell when he picked a guy up, slammed him through a deck, and then threw him into a building so hard that it caused ripple shockwaves through the wood of the building? That's what gave it away to me. That's what made me think something's going on here. Something is up with this situation, okay? And then he goes back, and it's like, the dude's obviously a vampire, but how, here's the thing. You're a vampire, you can move at super fast speeds, you got powers, you can create minions and stuff. Why is there so much broken glass on your floor, man? Sweep it up, dude. Like, be better. All right. That's what I want from you. Whatever your character's name was. Henry? I feel like it was Henry something, right? I don't know. Does it matter? No. And that's why the movie is perfect. Cody, this movie is so fun. It's so fun. You throw this on, everybody's going to be happy the whole time, right? No one's going to be mad. Were you mad at all? Were you ever like, you were like, oh, that was stupid. But then something happened that you were like, oh, that was delightful. And it made you happy. Okay. It's so good. But there's so many moments. First off, let's talk about the guy they cast as Lincoln. Nailed it, right? Like, the dude looks like he could be Lincoln. He also looks like he could be a chubby young Harrison Ford, but then he takes his shirt off and you're like, you are in no way chubby, but your face is a baby face. You have the baby face. You have a Play-Doh face. You've been stung by a wasp permanently for the rest of your life, and you just want to mush his face. I want to know, here's the thing. There's the first time he's introduced as old Lincoln, and it's a different set of prosthetics than he wears the rest of the movie. It looks ridiculous. I laugh out loud every time I see it, because it's like, they were like, oh shoot, we forgot to get the scene of him like with he's first got the hat on and stuff. Just put the fake nose on him real like loose and whatever. And it's like just him with a bigger nose and nothing else changed with like some really poorly done age makeup. And it's like, and then it looks fine, the rest. And then it's like, okay, and then he's just age makeup the rest of the movie. There's this one transition shot where he's just doesn't look right, and it looks so weird. It looks like they're making a movie based on an anime and they're trying to make it look like the anime in live action. That's what his character looks like. It looks like if they're like, we're gonna make someone like Majin Buu live action, you know what I'm saying? We all watched Dragon Ball back in the day. This movie is Dragon Ball. What do? They train, Cody. That's the first thing they do. They train. He goes out there and he's like, what makes you mad? Cut down the tree in one swipe. What makes you mad? And he's saying things. He's getting to the root of it. He's getting to it. He's getting to the truth, Cody. He's telling lies, Cody. All right. But then he tells the truth, as we all expect him to do from the beginning. And he cuts down that tree in one swipe, much like Goku would have done. Okay. And then what does Dominic Cooper say? True power comes from the truth. And I was like, what? That means nothing, but I believe you, Dominic. I believe you, and I want to follow you into battle with your stupid chicken glasses. All right? Because that's what they look like. They look like the little chicken glasses.
I'm going to have to cut you off right there. I do think you got to like the heart of the movie for me, which is that everyone plays their role so stone cold. Otherwise, this movie would be like bad and cheesy, like if anyone was breaking or anyone was being too over the top of their character, or wasn't taking it seriously, it would be like, oh, this movie's so stupid. But because everyone's committed to their role, it's like, I guess this is what happened during the Civil War, like.
May I remind you of something real quick?
Yeah.
You may be thinking to yourself, where have I seen that Abraham Lincoln recently? You may have seen him in his performance as High King Gilgalad in Rings of Power.
Yeah.
With the same chubby face.
When I saw that. Yep.
They got that chubby face.
Oh, man. I got to tell you. It's also wild they have Jimmy Simpson in this, who plays whatever his name is. Where is he at? He's the store owner guy.
Oh, yeah, Speed. Joshua Speed.
Yeah, Joshua Speed, but I can only think of him as the guy in It's Always Sunny. He plays Liam McPoyle, which is like a recurring character of the grossest, worst family possible that they're like rivals with. And so I can never unsee that. Like he's just the grossest character possible. And then I see him in other stuff. I'm like, what are you doing here? What's Liam McPoyle doing here?
Oh, he's there. He's there to mess it up. All right. He does look gross. He always looks a little greasy,
Yeah. It's his goal. Oh, man. Yeah, no, I also love that real power comes from truth. They say it once and they just move on. You're like, wait, hold on. Yeah. That's how you're able to be strong enough to fight a vampire, as if you're truthful enough? It's wild.
Well, they do establish only the only the living can kill the dead. All right. Because here's the thing. They get you with he's not going to be able to kill him because it's like he made him or whatever. That's the normal thing. And then they're like, nope, no vampire can kill another vampire. No
vampires can kill other vampires.
It's like, that's the thing. All right. Here's the thing. I like, because at the core, right? It's just a vampire movie. It's like, yep, it's vampires. They're basic vampires. All the rules of vampires apply. There's no weird but these ones are immune to holy water or whatever, like BS some HBO series would do. It's like, nah, they're just regular vampires. Silver does them in real good. They can't kill each other because of whatever. Jesus said so, the silver kills him because Judas was a dick once, it's a whole thing. Okay. And, I like it that it's just simple vampires. Here's the thing. Okay. It follows, stick with me, Cody. Abraham Lincoln follows the path of your video game power fantasy character, right? Where you're like, oh shoot, I'm getting my face kicked in. And then you come back and you're like, what's up, Margaret? Let's go. And you're like max leveled because you've grinded out and you've already killed what's his name on the horse at the beginning, and you kicked his teeth in and you're like, Margaret, I'm about to make you beg for mercy right now. And then you kick, you get him. All right. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's what he's doing. And I like that. Because it's like there's no real justification for it, but you could tell distinctly when he levels up. All right. Yeah. When he gets those extra skill points, you're like, he put those here or there. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You've New Game Plus Elden Ring 5 or 6 times, I'm guessing. You've gone back to Margit, the Fell Omen or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Margit for a second.
Yeah.
Dude sucks. I think we can agree that dude sucks. Here's the thing. I went in, I feel like I did what Abraham Lincoln did. I went straight for Margit and some random dude in a cave, which are apparently 2 of the hardest bosses to fight in the entire game. And those are the first 2 bosses I fought. And I was like, I'm done with this game. And everybody's like, those are the hardest ones. He went for literally the only ones that's harder, the final bosses of the game. I'm like, well, sucks to suck. Who's the real winner here, FromSoft? I stopped playing your game after paying $70 for it. So joke's on you, I guess. And you know what? That's what he said to the vampires. He's like, joke's on you. I stopped killing you and ended slavery. That's what it was all about, Cody. They ended slavery.
I do love that break in the movie. They're like, so I've been fighting vampires for a while. Anyway, I'm going to be a politician. he just jumps forward 10 years. Like, yeah.
Does it not feel though like it's like the reveal of Super Saiyan Goku when he walks through fully
I'm president now,
Abraham Lincoln, and you're like, oh.
I love how hard the prosthetics team worked. Like, let's make him look exactly like Lincoln, but also,
but also
anytime you change
clearly
someone's face to look exactly like Lincoln, you're like, wait, that's not how he's supposed to look,
Yeah.
Look, if you swapped this actor as Benjamin Walker with
Daniel Day-Lewis
in the Spielberg Lincoln movie,
I
don't think you could tell the difference. I think I'd be like, nope, that's still the Spielberg movie. Good movie. Know?
Here's the thing.
Think if you put Daniel Day-Lewis in this role, I don't think he would have done as good a job as Benjamin Walker.
Absolutely not.
Because he would have been out trying to kill real vampires at night. Would have hurt his performance.
Yeah, it probably
method acting as a vampire. Here's the thing about Daniel Day-Lewis being such a hardcore method actor. Why didn't he ever do any of these movies? He does all these historical dramas and real life movies. I need to see him method act his way as like a vampire hunter,
Can I tell you my favorite little factoid here, okay?
I want to see him method act as Superman. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him be like, nope, I've got superpowers. Like, this is me now.
I am glad you brought up the Steven Spielberg Lincoln, because that movie and this movie same year came out the exact same year. We're competing
Well, when you
films.
Google Abraham Lincoln, you know what comes up? Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, because the other one's Lincoln. You know, like, it's easier to look up Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter than it is to look up Lincoln, you know?
Oh yeah, Lincoln. You get cars. You get the president. You know, this one you always get what you're looking for every time. I will say, based on some cursory searches here, I believe this was much cheaper to make than Lincoln. So,
yeah.
And then them effects, you know, actually, never mind. It was more expensive. It was more expensive.
Really?
You got look.
There
you
are a lot
saw
of effects
those
in
slow-mo shots.
There's a lot of effects in. I mean, yeah, they went hard on the slow-mo for sure.
I mean, they didn't. It wasn't a huge difference in how much they made. You know, just the other one made double.
Oof.
It's rough.
But it did cost less, so, you know.
Yeah.
Here's something that bothered me about the script is that, and this happens, you know, it happens all the time in movies when someone's leading a double life of some kind. He tells Mary Todd, she's like, what were you doing? He's like, I hunt vampires. And she's like, oh, Lincoln, you're so funny, you know? And he's like, ugh. And then later she's like, you lied to me for years. It's like, you didn't believe me. So what? This is your problem. I told you.
Look, I turned to Tiffany.
You just dismissed me, you know?
During that speech of hers. And I was like, this is probably a discussion they actually had. But instead of being like, I'm sorry, I did lie to you, he was probably just like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because she was a crazy person. Yeah. By all accounts.
Yeah.
You know, so every time that she popped up later in the movie and she would tell him to do something, I would always add in a crazy little like quip about ghosts or demons or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, can you imagine what it would be like? You know, what you know, if only we were married to crazy ladies, then we could be president of the United States.
Then we'd get it, and we could kill vampires too.
We could kill vampires. We could end slavery. You know, we could be 6.5 feet tall or however tall he was.
That's my other favorite tenet of this movie is like racists or vampires. That's how it works. You know, like, I really liked that. I love the mythology of this movie. I also love that like that was the basis for slavery was vampires were running the whole racket, and they were like, look, this is how we get our meals, which is an interesting idea. And I think it is effective for staying under the radar, right? Because slaves have zero rights. So it's like you eat your slave, who's going to bat an eye, you know? But it can't be cost effective. Like,
where are they
it's
making money
cheaper to find a random person and kill them than it is to buy a slave and eat the, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're paying money what other people are getting. Why buy the cow when you can get the blood for free? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
I guess vampires, a lot of vampires have like that old money. Like this vampire guy's been around for thousands of years, I guess. But
what's the legit? Because they have slaves. They show them having slaves in there. So I just imagine this situation they get themselves in where they're like, no, you can't eat these ones because we need them to actually work these plantations so we can buy more.
I just finished training this person and they're finally doing a good job. I mean, yeah, the training costs alone.
Yeah, I feel like it's an unsustainable economy. I actually just watched like a whole documentary about how like slavery almost died out and then the cotton gin forced it to like, came way back. And the guy who invented it intended for it to like abolish slavery because it would be like, look, you don't need it. It's not even worth it.
Right.
And he got to watch it skyrocket the slavery numbers. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Didn't make money off of it either. Because the copyright sucked back then.
Wow.
Yeah. But, you know, now you know that little factoid. And that'll stick with you. And you know it along
every time I see a cotton gin, I'm going to be like, man, Eli Whitney got boned, you know? Got boned out of his money, didn't end slavery.
He got money eventually.
Can you imagine
he invented something
if he
else,
saw Abraham Lincoln and he's like, this guy just managed to end slavery, you know?
And all he had to do was go to war with the southern half of the country.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I was
5 years, no problem, you know?
They get to the part with Gettysburg, right? Which I think is really funny. Just the like the idea that's vampires. That's why they won Gettysburg. And I was like, wait a second, they didn't win Gettysburg though. And then it's like, all the silver in the world needs to go to Gettysburg. Yep, because we got it. That's why he did it. That's why he took all the silver and sent it down to Gettysburg to make cannonballs. I told Tiffany incorrectly, Cody, because I was like, man, the South, they lost so hard at Gettysburg. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, it was actually way more even. It's just that the North had a lot more people. And they were like, we're going to destroy the Northern Army. And they were like, psych, we basically did 1-for-1 and you have less people. So suck it, nerd. Here's the thing. Ulysses S. Grant, he's a genius, right? That's what everybody says. He's a drunk genius.
And a drunk.
A drunken kung fu master, as some have dubbed him, okay? I love his own, like, what's the strategy, Ulysses? What kind of name is Ulysses, really? You know? Really. It's like, throw bodies at it. Let's do what Russia would do in this situation, basically. Throw bodies at it. We got more of them. And it worked. It worked, Cody. You know, can you fault him? He's on the hunt. He's on what was it? He's on the $50 bill.
50.
Lincoln, was he on the 5? You know,
he double dipped though because he's on the penny too.
He is on the penny. That is.
No one else gets 2 pieces of money.
Lincoln's much taller than the rest of the presidents. So, and the hat, you know.
Yeah, the hat's even taller.
He got Kennedy's spot.
That taller to just have the hat, you know.
Is if you
they
get
measured
one
him with or without the hat.
I mean, both, right? She stood on his hat. Can we talk about that for a second? Can you stand on a top hat?
I can only assume his hat was some sort of like a silver-lined vampire protective.
Okay, so that's another point. Why did he never like? Okay, no. This is my biggest gripe. Okay. Mr. Writer man who wrote this book, Seth. Okay, Seth, my guy. I understand you're out here, you're pumping out these novels, all right? You're pumping out these YA novels about zombies and vampires or whatever. Would you not have rubbed look, I remember watching an ad for an Infinity car, like, you know, Infinity, the car brand, where they're like, we've rubbed silver dust into the wood trim. And ever since then, I've thought, why wouldn't you just rub the silver? Because you can do that. You get the dust to the silver and you rub it into the wood and it gets all stuck in all the little cracks and crevices. It makes it all twinkly. Why would you not do that into the handle of your axe? It makes it like, I don't know, some kind of weird like anti-whatever. So it's like doesn't grow.
These vampires can't grab your axe and throw it back at you.
Can't grab it. He's going to grab it. He's going to try to break it, but it's going to burn his hand or he can't do it. See, that's the other thing. It's like, oh, but it burns. But that's the other thing is I like that it wasn't like, oh, Adam's, he's got the biggest wiener, so he can hold silver or whatever, you know, because that's what every other vampire movie does. It's like, no, silver kills him. I liked that. That it was like old school vampire rules. Silver kills the vampire. So all he had to do is have his little like brass knuckles made out of a pocket watch to punch through him. So did he punch through him or did he just like put his fist forward so that he rematerialized with his fist inside of it? That's what I want to know. Cody, your thoughts?
What? You're saying what?
So at the end, when Abraham Lincoln, President of the United States of America, kills the vampire named Adam, he has his pocket watch that he does a cool little whip move with to wrap it around his knuckles. And it's like, it's silver. Yeah. And he punches forward, punches a hole into the like chest, stomach, the sternum of Adam. So did he punch a hole into Adam, or did he just punch as Adam was coming out of his little like dust form that they do, you know?
Yeah.
So that he like poofed into where his fist was. This is what the people want to know.
I think he punched him straight up.
I think he punched. I mean, he cut down that tree in one swoop, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was several chops, but I mean, the rest of the chops were like little weenie chops.
Right.
He didn't like do the Goku chop until he said that. I don't know. What did he say when he chopped the wood down? That because he was
too
young.
Small to, too weak.
He was mad that he was 10 or whatever. I don't know.
Didn't do it. Didn't do good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here's my hope for this movie. One more thing. So, cinematography, surprising amount of work they did. You know, they did a lot of mood lighting, and I think they did a pretty good job at that. So I just want to shout out the cinematographer on this movie, who seemed to try pretty hard and did a decent job. Here's my hope for this movie. What?
I mean, it's just like it nailed. Like, this is a movie that, I mean, these are young adult novels, right? That are written. Mm-hmm. It nailed the vibe, right?
Yeah.
In the same way that Zack Snyder nailed 300, it nailed these vibes. And I think what I've heard is like the Pride and Prejudice Zombies is the same way. Just nails it. Even down to like what you're saying, that like ultraviolet flashback thing where it shows Dominic Cooper.
So many questions.
Henry being, is it Henry? Henry Sturgis.
Caleb Deschanel was the cinematographer. This man worked on Passion of the Christ, The Patriot, The Lion King, and a movie called Being There. So there you go. Beatles, 8 Days a Week. Jack Reacher. This guy's got some credits, dude. National Treasure.
I just say, for a movie with such bad ratings, even Henry Sturgis got more character development than like some of than it, like most movies give to any of their characters. You know what I mean? And he only got like one scene of character development. The rest of the time, he was just kind of the same.
Yeah. All right. Here's my hope for this movie. My real desire. I hope that the record of Abraham Lincoln is reduced in the future, and this is what the aliens find. I really hope that, like, future historians or aliens or whoever discovers our ancient society finds this movie and is like, wow, this Abraham Lincoln guy was pretty hardcore, you know? And they're like, I can't believe they had to deal with vampires. This is wild, you know? That's my hope. I hope the Steven Spielberg movie is buried and never found, and I hope this is what becomes the story, the true story of Lincoln.
Is so much of this movie, they go so hard. I was scrolling down. It's not even like in the trivia. It's just in the like the crazy credits. Did you watch the end credits at all? It is like a Lord of the Rings, like Rings of Power-esque scene where it's like trails of blood mapping out the continental United States, and then it zooms out to show that that's what it was the whole time as it's like showing it, and it's like done so well and looks so good, and it's like, this is a trash movie. Why is it so good? Why is like everything shot so cool? Why is the mood lighting of every scene perfect? Why does everybody commit the perfect amount? Because if Dominic Cooper had given 1% more to that role, it would have ruined everything. If was it Benjamin Walker had not come across as like a shy kind of like I'm doing what I must guy, I feel like he nailed Lincoln as hard as Daniel Day-Lewis nailed Lincoln. And I am mad about it, but I love the movie so much. But I'm so mad that it's so good and people still were like, stupid, because the concept of the movie is dumb, but it's so good.
I mean,
I will say this. I like Dracula Untold so much better than this movie, but this is by far a better movie.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I just like how educational it was, because I really thought the Civil War was about states' rights. I know it's about vampires, you know?
I also like that it included so many like real details of Lincoln's life. Of like where he lived and how he moved around, and him like going and studying to be a lawyer and like all this stuff, and like his son dying and his mom dying in weird way to like weird diseases and stuff, and like all this stuff. And I'm like, look, you're really just. It is so, like you said, it's so close that it's gonna be found by the aliens, and they're gonna be like, vampires.
Oh man, my one complaint about it, and it's like, how do you end any movie about Lincoln? Because he gets shot in a theater, you know. So like they always have to end that way, where it's like, I'm going to the theater. Movie's over. Like, this is what a weird note to end this movie on, you know?
But I even this one found its own twist where it's like, you know,
Dominic is like, hey,
let me make you
let's
immortal.
Keep it rolling. Yeah, I'll make you a vampire. I also like the teaser at the end too, where it's like, anyway, Dominic Cooper, he's off to keep doing his thing. It like cuts to modern day, and he does the exact same scene over again, where he's like, you know, you only get that drunk if you're trying to do something or kill a man or whatever, you know.
Okay, which again, back to Dracula Untold, it's basically the exact same way that both of them end, but it's done so much better, where it ends with like the gun hitting the floor, and you're like, oh, it's the same situation. The next president of the United States is right there in that bar with him.
Barack Obama? Is that...
Yeah. I like that they showed the like Marine One, the presidential helicopter coming down, but didn't. Because I'm like, look, you're so close. Just show Barack Obama getting out of it. Show a black man getting out of it.
I mean, can you imagine if they had done Joe Biden, Vampire Hunter? Sleepy Joe, Vampire Killer. You know, can you imagine?
Oh.
Would have been so much better.
It would have been so much better.
Joe Biden. Joe Biden with his attack dogs hunting vampires? Come on. That's a movie. I guess it would be a good TV series, maybe like a 5-parter, you know?
Yeah. You know, that's a mini series on Peacock for sure. It's in the works.
What would Donald Trump fight, you know?
I mean, I feel like Donald Trump is the one getting fought, right? Like, that's what's like. Like, I can't see him fighting anybody. I can see him getting fought. Like, but just tell me honestly, like, were you frustrated by like that it's so much effort and so much like obviously skilled people's time was spent on such a dumb movie?
Yeah, no, it was quite the conundrum to be in. You're like, this movie isn't good, but also it isn't bad because they really did try hard. Like, yeah, it was much better than it had any right being.
It's like if Lockout had really good cinematography.
Yeah.
Because even the effects, like, they didn't try to go for, like, the super realistic where you get to where you're like, this doesn't look good. They went for the, like, no, this is like a graphic novel movie type. Like, we're going for over-the-top blood splatter across everything. And, like, he throws him into something and there's, like, the shockwaves through a brick wall and stuff because he hit it so hard. Like, they were going for over-the-top, which... My favorite, here's one thing I did like, was they take Abe Lincoln, you know, Abe, as I call him, you know, Al, as he's known to some. And they, you know, they age him up pretty aggressively. Everyone else, they're just like, I don't know, throw some like flour in their hair and give them glasses, you know, like doesn't even kind of try to age him up. But like Abraham Lincoln, they're like, well, he has to look like Abraham Lincoln now.
Yeah.
But even like him taking out his axe and going to spin it and dropping it. And like Tiffany said when he dropped it, she's like, it's been a while. And I was like, oh, it has been a while. But don't worry, he's still got it. By the way, what I was referencing at the beginning was the bayonet on the end of his axe appears and disappears randomly during the fight.
Right, yeah.
But I'm fine with it. I don't think that's the reason it got the low ratings, you know?
Wasn't the bayonet realists that were like, I can't believe they did a soda. I came to this movie for bayonets.
Like, there's this scene when they like get the stuff, you know, like they get the shipment of silver, and Mary Todd's there because she was there the whole time, you know. And she gets the box, she opens it up, she takes the box, gets it real close, pulls a bayonet out, and she's like, it's bayonets. It's like, yes, Mary, it's bayonets.
I did
Very
love
good.
that she was like the project manager for the whole operation of the war. She's like, all right, this goes there, you go there. She's like triaging everything. I was like, what is her job in the war exactly?
I like to think that they were just like,
I really liked that.
You could really talk to her, but they were like, they're just like, she's just here. She's not leading anything. We
I
just
love
gave her
the
a couple
canon
boxes.
of a first lady running like a military operation in the field.
She's at Gettysburg.
Yeah, she's like there at the place.
She does, and then she kills like one of the lead vampires with something that it was determined to be not silver very early on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's just like, it's bayonets. Bayonets, go over there.
But it's like she picks it up, she inspects it, she looks at it, she
but
looks
it's like
for like an insignia.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she's not going to show up, and she didn't get with Ewan McGregor because she's she does anything halfway, Yeah. She went all in as Mary Todd.
It's bayonets. Yes, it is, Mary Todd. So good. Very good, Mary.
That's just all like a stage production for her,
Yeah,
it's like, all right, we got to keep Mary busy.
Happy,
Just pretend she's in charge, do what she says. You've got some tents.
Yeah. I believe, honestly, that's what she thought was going on in the whole Civil War. You know what I mean? That's what, from what I know about her, that's what she thought was happening.
Keep her mind off the loss of children, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's a good movie, though. Anthony Mackie was there. Look, the star-studded cast is
Anthony
weird.
Mackie was here like a year before he was in Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Great. Perfect.
I mean,
Excellent
but they nailed it. I mean, can you poke a single hole in the movie? No. No.
You can't.
Cody, what else? What else do you got about the movie? Tell me about your gripes.
I'm watching the NBA right now. You know what really bothers me about this series? We're in the Western Conference Finals. It's the Timberwolves versus the Mavericks. And it's blue and white wolf logo versus blue and white horse logo. And it drives me crazy because it's like white team, blue team. But then the next game, they're blue team, white team. But they have the same colors. So it's like, how do you even tell these guys apart,
But Cody, what about the Celtics,
No one cares. They're going to lose.
Oh, are they still
someone.
in it? Oh.
They must. They're in. Oh, yeah. They're about to sweep the Pacers. But the question isn't can they get to the finals. It's can they not lose the finals, So we'll see. I'm a Lakers fan, so I have to root against the Celtics. I must. It's the one thing I know about the Lakers.
Here's the thing.
So,
I only can tell if the Celtics are doing well if everybody's in a good mood. The whole city of Boston is in a good mood.
Yeah.
The Celtics are doing well.
Oh, yeah. No, the Celtics are like up 3-0, I think, in the series. They're about to sweep the Pacers.
If the Celtics are doing bad,
not to date this show,
nobody knows who the Celtics are. Nobody cares. Yeah. It's very funny. It's not necessarily like people are mad about it.
But
they just forget that they exist until next season.
Credit where credit's due. The Celtics do have like the coolest stadium or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
The arena. Like, it's got the alternating wood squares. And so, like, it looks cool. It is cool. Whatever, the TD Garden or whatever it is, whatever it's called. It looks cool.
I have had the
opportunity.
Mascot's
kind of dumb. It's kind of dumb.
How dare you, sir?
Their court looks cool.
How dare you? I've had the opportunity so many times to go to a Celtics game.
Than a Laker, Everyone knows what a Laker is. What even is a Celtic,
Exactly.
Totally makes sense.
Here's the thing, Cody. If you were offered like corporate box seats multiple times to like a Lakers game, would you accept them at least once in a 2-year period?
I would accept them every single time. I'll accept free sports tickets every time. I will jump through a hoop for box. I've been in a box seat twice, and it's fantastic. It's so good. Once at the Chiefs preseason, and once at the Sporting, and the food, and the view. And the seats are nice. It's so great. I love it.
I was
so nice.
once offered
so nice.
seats in a company box because the people from the company that normally take them weren't available. I believe, if I remember correctly, the company was Pfizer, and it was their box. And I was
probably not even a good one.
Not
they
exactly.
Don't have the money. Pharmaceutical company wouldn't have the money for a good box.
I was always like, yeah. Here's the thing, Cody. It's Boston, It's like there's no way you're getting in and out alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you really need a helicopter. If you're rich enough for a box seat, you better be rich enough for a helicopter to afford you to get you to, into and out of the stadium.
I am pretty sure at least one of the games, like one of our guys from like North Carolina was like, I want the tickets and like drove up from North Carolina.
Yeah. I would do that. So, no, yeah. I got caught in a loop for a week. You get in your loops of the feed, what the feed gives you. I saw a few of those corporate jet sales videos of that guy that sells private jets to rich people, and he's real good at it. The other thing I saw, though, was have you seen some of the fancy places like the Celtics or Madison Square Garden or like what's this, Crypto Arena? Their fancy ultra luxury suites for the games. You don't sit in a box above the thing. You sit in an underground suite, and you have a sushi chef and a private bartender, and you can walk out onto the court, watch the game, walk back into your suite, get sushi, watch from giant screen TVs. You've got a sommelier for booze. It's ridiculous. I'm like, don't worry, it only costs $60,000 a game. It's like, it's one of those.
Yeah. Nah, I haven't done this. We don't see. Here's the thing. Here's the problem. We don't work with the military contractor companies very often, so we don't have. They're the ones that probably own all this around here.
Yeah,
but Cody, how many of those people are vampires? That's the question. And could I
half of them.
Dominic Cooper if I go to one of these games? I don't know where Dominic Cooper lives. Probably in L.A. or whatever, something dumb.
LA?
Here's the thing. It's like every time I'm like, no, this person's British. They definitely live in not the U.S. And I look it up and they're like, yeah, they live in
all right,
some suburb of L.A.
I Googled Dominic Cooper home. Let's see what else people asked. What is Dominic Cooper's ethnicity? You want to know that one?
I always want to know the ethnicity.
He's English. Are Amanda Seyfried and Dominic Cooper friends? Always wanted to know that. I think they dated, maybe briefly. She's a friend now. That's as of 2018. Whatever. Does he have children? He's in a relationship with fellow preacher star Ruth Nega. I hope I said that name right. Sheffield doesn't have loads of kids. I'm so confused. That confuses me. Is he British? We already know that. What's his heritage? How old was Colin Firth in Mamma Mia? Is Dominic Cooper must be in Mamma Mia then?
He is.
I
Yeah.
don't know that. Okay, is he the main guy?
No, he's the hot boyfriend that is.
Why was Meryl Streep not in Mamma Mia too? I thought she was.
She's kind of in it once. All right. Here's the thing that I've seen while you're out there looking up whatever. I found out that Dominic Cooper and James Corden used to be roommates.
No.
Yes.
No. I refuse to believe that.
Yes.
How dare you?
Where was James Corden? Why was he not one of the vampires?
All right. Dominic Cooper has a luxury penthouse in North London, Victorian terraced property in North London. So there you go. Okay.
It's too far. It's close, but so far away.
The actor first stumbled across the property when he and his former flatmate James Corden were looking for places to buy. What is happening? I don't know if it's his main place. What?
I feel like we've stumbled away from the core values of this podcast at this point. You know what I mean? Like we've gone deep on
talking about sports and James Corden's roommate.
Here's what I need you to know. Okay, so
also,
real quick,
when you pull up this article, it has a little yellow header that says this article is more than 4 years old. So it's like, if you're trying to get the latest info on where Dominic Cooper's penthouse is, you might be out of luck.
So, Cody, just to try to yank us somewhat back from the brink of total, annihilation here, okay? At the hands of non-patriots, aka vampires, okay? I have acquiesced and given the vampire Sam Altman 20 of my dollars to get access to the hottest new Chat GPT. Okay. And I have tasked it with the most important task you've ever tasked any AI with. Right. And that is to, from now on, tell me how many degrees from Dracula Untold we are in any given movie.
Yes.
So I have gotten this thing to where now I just type in the name of the movie and it tells me. All right. So here's what we've got. Okay. I told it Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Allow me to read you exactly what this AI mastermind spat back at me.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're going to take the step-by-step approach. He didn't say so, but I'm skipping this first little paragraph because it's just, like whatever. Step 1. Identify the main cast and crew of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Director, Timur. Main cast, you know the main cast. I don't want to read all these names. Step 2. Identify the main cast and crew of Dracula Untold. Director, Gary Shore. Main cast, yeah, all of those people. Step 3. Find a common link. Dominic Cooper is the key connection. He played Henry Sturgis in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter and Mehmed in Dracula Untold.
What?
Given this connection, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter and Dracula Untold are 1 degree of separation apart due to Dominic Cooper's involvement in both films.
Tyler, can we run this 1 or 2 times with some other movies?
I want to run Manchester by the Sea because I want to
run it with the most recent Cody. Yes.
Step 1, identify the main cast and crew. Step 2, identify main cast and crew. Step 3, find a common link. Charles Dance, who played the master vampire in Dracula Untold, also appeared in the movie The Imitation Game alongside Matthew Good. Matthew Good, or Goody, I don't know how to say it. It's good with an E on it. Was in the movie The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumbersnatch. Benedict Cumberbun appeared in the Martinian, you know it, you love it, alongside Shailene Woodley. Shailene Woodley starred in The Fault in Our Stars with Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe appeared in The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson was in The Devil All the Time with Tom Holland. Tom Holland starred in Spider-Man Homecoming with Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was in Spotlight with Michelle Williams.
Michael Keaton in here. Michelle, there it is.
Who is a main cast member in Manchester by the Sea. This makes a total of 7 degrees of separation.
I refuse to believe we're 7 degrees away from Dracula Untold. There's no way.
I mean, that's what it gave me. I mean,
wow.
Do you want me?
What an amazing tool! No,
it's the best tool. I mean, do you doubt? Do you doubt?
I doubt
the AI.
No, I could never. I have seen that. I've seen the one. People are trying out Google's new AI search, and they were like, this thing's sticking in the pan when I cook, and they're like, add a 1/4 tablespoon of glue to your dough. It's like, what? To keep it from sticking. It's like, what are you talking about?
I asked ChatGPT if Gemini was worth it, and I think it talked me into trying it, which was really funny. And I was like, yo, ChatGPT, Sam's going to be pissed. And he was like, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. And I was like, okay, you got upset with me. All right.
That's another one that was like, should I eat a rock every day? And they were like, yeah, some geologists recommend eating a small rock every day. Like,
Cody, do me a favor.
What is this search engine doing?
Just give me another movie. Just give me one more movie. Just to play with this thing. Just to give it.
Yeah.
Just to
what's
test
your vibe on the
before
movie,
we. You know? I want you give me whatever movie you think is just like not even close to Dracula Untold. All right.
Let's see. I would love to hear about. Do you want an easy? Do you want to? I mean, I can make it really hard.
Sure. You know,
The Third Man.
All right. To determine the degrees of separation, step 1: identify the main cast and crew. Okay, I made sure that it was the right people. Step 2: I made main cast and crew. Oh my gosh, Cody, you have played yourself so hard on this one. Okay, I want you to guess the degrees of separation between the Third Man and Dracula Untold.
I mean, this Third Man came out in like what, the 50s, early 50s, late 40s.
Right.
So it's gotta be, I mean, right? Unless it's someone, it's gotta be more than Manchester by the Sea, certainly. I refuse to believe it isn't.
All right, here we go.
Telling me, okay, 8. Give me 8.
Step 3, find a common link. Orson Welles, that's our starting, who starred in The Third Man, directed and starred in Touch of Evil with Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston appeared in True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger starred in Terminator Genesis with Emilia Clarke. Emilia Clarke starred in Game of Thrones alongside Charles Dance, who played the Master Vampire in Dracula Untold. This makes a total of 4 degrees of separation. Oh,
wow.
It's the best tool AI has ever been used to make. And I love it.
Amazing.
It took a lot. If you want to make this at home, this is what it takes. All right, allow me to tell you the prompts that you got to do to coax this AI into it. If I give you a movie, can you tell me how many degrees of separation there are between that movie and Dracula Untold? And then you start giving it movies, and that's what it does. Wow. That's the only thing you got to do, and you could also
4 degrees of separation from Orson Welles. That's insane.
Well,
Orson Welles, Charlton Heston, Schwarzenegger, Emilia Clarke.
Yeah.
Bam.
You played yourself on that one. That was, we all could have seen that coming a mile away.
Wow.
Cody, do you have anything left to say about the movie? Any more of your? You want to bring up the Lakers again?
I just want to say that I am a patriot. All right. Not a vampire.
Isn't Dominic Cooper like a huge Lakers fan or something? I feel like we should have brought that up.
There's a lot of celebrities that are Lakers fans just because they're in LA, and it's like a whole thing. You go to the Lakers game, they show the celebrities are,
It brings up different people who are not Dominic Cooper when I type in Dominic Cooper Lakers, so I may be wrong on that one. But I thought he was a big fan of some sports team that's weird. But whatever,
It's a Deseret News article titled "British Actor Gaining Fans in U.S."
Oh,
missing Lakers. Show results with Lakers, please. What celebrities are fans of the Lakers?
All of them. Because you know what LA loves doing? They love LA. They love doing LA.
Leo, Denzel, Andy Garcia. Other celebrities that Lakers game are probably just there for the publicity. Justin Bieber.
Cody, we gotta do the machine before we close out.
Yeah.
We gotta do the machine. All right, are you ready to do the thing? Say it with me.
Yes.
Do
the thing.
Master and Commander.
Oh. I seen that VHS growing up.
Here's the thing, Cody. I recently revamped the Tyler Trash list. It is now a mix of movies that I desperately want to see and trash movies. And it's going to be really funny when some of them pop up when they're not trash movies. Much like Master and Commander, which I don't think people would classify as a trash movie. But you know what?
Right.
By me picking it, I made it a trash movie. All right.
Very good. You're on the cutting edge.
I'm a hero.
You're the tastemaker.
I'm a patriot, okay?
Yes, you are. No vamps on this pod. Tyler, are you going to drop your grade on Abraham Lincoln Vampires Hunter?
I feel like I have to. This movie's an A for me. I like I like Dracula Untold more personally, but I think it's just such a good movie. It's an A movie, and I think it's disgusting that people didn't like it as much.
I'm gonna have to give my grade and just drop off the stream because he's so mad at me.
But it's but what's wrong with it? That's the problem. That's why I think. That's why when I'm looking through these grades, I'm like, what's.
As they say, there's no accounting for taste.
This person gave it a 6 out of 10, and they're like, it was a good movie. It was surprisingly good. I liked it. I loved the whole thing. I liked the effects. I liked the actors. But you gave it a 6 out of 10. Explain this to me, people. Answer for your sins.
It's a C for me. It's a C movie.
But what is
not
wrong
bad,
with the movie,
not
Cody?
great. I mean, it was enjoyable, but I can't in good conscience put it at like a, I can't cross the B- threshold, certainly. And it wasn't, it was good enough. It was good enough, and that's a C for me,
So good.
The average Tyler's Trash is a D movie. So this being a C, that's a whole letter grade bump. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
But people can't, you go through these reviews and people, anytime they're like, this is dumb.
75%.
They're
that's
like, this is dumb, is that Abraham Lincoln didn't kill vampires. It's like, yeah, no, duh. What's his face didn't live on the moon alone with a robot, but we all liked that movie.
Daniel Day-Lewis isn't Abraham Lincoln either,
Yeah.
And what's the grade you're giving him that?
Abraham Lincoln wasn't actually in Lincoln, so we should give that a 5 out of 10. Stupid, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It just it makes me so mad that people are like, it's dumb just because it's like the source material is this like cheap horror novel, right? But they did it so perfect. Yeah. Like you said, the cinematography uses things that's like, who'd you say, like Kubrick uses? Like Scorsese? Whatever. They're all the same person. They're all the same vampire, right. Just manifesting himself through different old, wrinkly men, Yep.
I mean, Tyler's the highest rated Tyler's Trash for me in like
so mad.
A month or two,
It's that I'm not surprised. I'm
trying
just
to find
disappointed.
The last time a Tyler's Trash was higher for me, and
What I'm saying is I'm not surprised, Cody, but I am profoundly disappointed in you, in the critics, in the users, in everybody across the board.
This is a mistake. 8.5's on here as a Tyler's Trash. I was going to say that was the last time.
That's a Tyler's Trash. That is the Tyler's Trash.
8.5 was? Okay, that was the last C grade I gave on a Tyler's Trash.
That was
C+, here we go.
Movie.
C+, Life. What is that?
It's a good movie. It's a horror movie. It's basically Alien, but
Life.
More subtle.
Gotcha. So that was a C+.
That's also a good movie.
You've had lots of C's on here.
I would argue that this is a much better shot, well, I don't know. The effects in Life are out freaking standing. So that's hard to, and the actors are just as good, but the script is a little tighter. But the fact that, first off, the fact that you gave it a C is disgusting. Also, the fact that you gave this a C is disgusting.
What were you hoping I was going to get?
I mean, I expected you to give it an F minus or something stupid, just because you're like, I don't like it because they're vampires or whatever. But it's like, it's just so much better. Like I'll admit, Dracula Untold is a stupid movie, but it's so cool. And it's a movie that's like, it's made for teenage boys to be like, that was awesome. And I love it every second of the way. This movie was the same movie, but well done.
Yeah.
And just Cody, I just want you and all these 162,000 people that rated it, an average, like the most popular score was a 6 out of 10, followed by a 7 out of 10. So I mean, you're in line with most people. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I hate all 70 something thousand of you, and I think you're wrong, and you should feel bad. But also, I mean, are you wrong? Can this movie be better than a C? Yes, and it was.
Okay.
Just, why was this so good is the question.
Yeah.
And why did people hate it so much?
That's a good question.
They hated Jesus because he spoke the truth.
Because they're racists. They wish
they're
that
not
the South
patriots.
never fell. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Bunch of non-patriots out here. Bunch of vampires.
I will say, I firmly believe all 5,000 of these 1 out of 10 people are people who are like, that's not how the Civil War worked. And it's like, yeah, you're right.
Right. Oh, man.
Okay.
Well, Tyler, it's been a pleasure. Good pick. Excited for our first not trashy Tyler's trash movie that isn't trash but is trash for the next one. Thanks for listening, everyone. Until next time, watch movies
and have opinions. How loosely are these guys keep it? Their guns are so loose in their jackets, like
no,
they fall out when they get hit on the back.
It's got to be like one of those little Velcro straps, that like kids' costumes have,
Exactly.
Like a little sword holder, but it's a little Velcro strap. It's one of those.